Hey y'all, good morning. July 20th, 2021. This is me at the old Milton, or the old West Milton Cemetery off Water Street, below the hill. This cemetery was also known as the Civil War Cemetery. And I'll walk around. You can get some names that we know. People who are around here, I say we. And you know, the reality is I've got so many stories to tell about this place. I said I'll go walk around while I'm talking to you. So many stories to tell you about this place. It's blown my mind just to stand here. Plus, cemeteries are a really thing for me. So I think they're a thing for all of us. Just some people don't want to think about it. Philosophy has helped me. And this is Jonathan Evans. He died in 1887. And I can't get much else off the stone. Susan's over here. Probably his wife. And there are stones all over here. What happened in the 60s and 70s, I guess, was people came through and, well, I don't guess, I know, people came through and busted up stones, and now it's hard to tell who was buried here. Of course, there's records. I know the records show 33 people are buried here. I always thought it was closer to 50. My grandmother grew up in West Milton, and Rebecca Allen, and she graduated in 1938, and she tried to, this is a good story, when grandma was a little girl, she must have been about 10. She had a shovel one day, and great grandma Denlinger saw her and said, "Where are you going?" And grandma said, "I'm going down to the cemetery, this cemetery," because they just lived across Water Street. She says, "I'm going down to the cemetery and dig up some treasure." That was my grandmother. Very industrious. And if her mother hadn't have stopped her, she might have tried. Probably would have. But as I was saying, in the 60s and 70s, for some unknown reason, people came into this area and destroyed the stones. And the American Legion came in and preserved it again, set it back up, and put things together. And over the years, people just kept coming in and doing it again and again and again, which makes no sense to me. I don't understand vandalism on this level, let alone a cemetery. And then finally they put a fence in. This wasn't here the last time I was here, but I've been gone quite a while. And it's good to see stones have been put back in place and to remember the Civil War. You know, it seems like a long time ago. 1861 to 1865. And people don't think about it much. They think it's archaic and doesn't mean anything, but with the things going on in the United States today and people hating each other and the government doing crazy things, they need to remember. And I'll never forget in Gettysburg, you know, it's the worst, but way before that, 2 years before Gettysburg, was Antietam Creek, called the Battle of Sharpsburg by the Confederates. They named it by the town. The Yankees named it by the waterway. And at Antietam Creek, in 24 hours, over 20,000 men died by the musket, cannon, and sword. A year later in Chickamauga, Georgia, just south of Chancellorsville, Tennessee, over 8,000 Union troops were killed, and about almost as many Confederate troops were killed at the Battle of Chickamauga, although the South really technically won that victory. And a year later they went to Gettysburg. By then they had conical bullets with rifling, and they really put the toll up. And I'm not even going to tell you how many, but I'll tell you it's 250,000 dead. So you got to look at it by a musket. It takes a long time to get a round off with a musket. So you got to look at it as it is. And we should remember to protect places like this so somebody else can come out here in 30 more years or 50 years and tell the story again. And I still think it's hilarious every time I think about it. about my wonderful grandmother digging up treasure. I hope y'all have a good day. Peace out, y'all.